What's good, y'all? Blacksmith here, and today we're here to talk about Never Let Go. The first post-summer horror thriller of 2024 has finally arrived and marks the return to the silver screen, one of Hollywood's most eccentric actresses and one of my favorite actresses of all time, Halle Berry. From the time that the first trailer dropped, this movie has been shrouded in mystery and has had the summer in a complete chokehold. So, was this movie worth the hype? And does this mark a great comeback to the silver screen for Halle Berry? Let's talk about it. Never Let Go is about a mother and her two sons who are tormented by a malicious spirit in a house in the middle of a forest. This family is completely isolated from the rest of the world, and the only time that they leave the house is during the day to hunt for food. When they leave the house, they have to be tethered to it using a very thick rope that's attached to the house that they put around their waist. And any physical contact with the malicious spirits will result in very dangerous consequences. When one of her two sons starts to question the existence of this malicious spirit and the reason why they're isolated from the rest of the world, things start to get interesting and the story picks up from there. Now it's time to get into these pros and cons. The first pro we gotta talk about, the acting. Halle Berry gave nothing short of a fantastic performance in this movie. She truly embodied the characteristics of a schizophrenic and paranoid yet caring mother. And the two actors who played her sons, Percy Daggs and Anthony B. Jenkins, also did an amazing job. You can tell that these actors had great chemistry because even in times when Halle Berry's character was not on screen, her presence was still felt by her sons. This movie definitely benefited by having a limited cast and having these three actors as the leads. The next pro we're going to talk about, execution of the plot. Now let's be real, the whole cabin in the woods trope has already been done. We've seen this 1,000 times. We saw this in previous movies that came out this year. But what makes this movie a lot more different was how realistic it was. Everything that happened in this movie could potentially happen in real life because of the ambiguous nature of the situations. The last pro I'm going to talk about, the cinematography. Now, I went into this movie not really expecting much, but from the introduction, I could tell this is a movie that I would at least find interesting. The way that this movie was shot almost reminds me of something along the lines of an Ari Aster movie. Think Hereditary and Midsommar. And those are two of my favorite movies of all time, just on the cinematography aspect. So to see that this movie gave me a similar feel to those two made me very happy, and it kept me interested throughout. And unfortunately, since no movie is perfect, now we have to get into the cons. I don't have a long list of cons for this movie, but the biggest one I have, too much ambiguity. Now, this movie's entire plot is shrouded in mystery as to what is real and what is not. And that's fine, but there needs to come a time in the movie where the audience can tell what is real and what's not, what's in someone's head and what's actually physically happening. This movie's ambiguous nature mixed with the realistic situation hurt it a lot more times than it needed to. Because at some point, when you mix fantasy and reality together, you're gonna confuse a lot of people as to what this premise is actually about. At least that's how it was with me, because at the end of the movie, you're gonna see something that could pretty much explain what went on in the movie, but at the same time, leaving you with questions that are not gonna get answered as to what was real this whole time. And it's because of this that I think the trailer for this movie was misleading, and this movie was a bit undeserving of the hype that it got during the summer. So without a good balance of reality and fantasy within the plot, it left me more confused than I would have liked to have been. Overall, I really did enjoy this movie. This was a fantastic return to the big screen for Halle Berry, and the two male actors that played the sons did a fantastic job, and I hope to see them in more movies as well. And whether or not you're into horror movies, I suggest checking this one out. You're really going to enjoy it, and it's definitely worth your time. Thanks for checking out my review. Let me know if you plan on seeing this movie. Let me know if you've already seen it and what you thought about it. Let me know what you thought about my review, and give this video a like and your boy a follow. I truly appreciate it. And until next time, peace.